Hey skaters, what's up? Victor here. I'm a professional speed skater. If you don't know me, I am a two-time Olympian and I have my own skating website called www.thorpskating.com. And one of the things I offer in there is an individualized video technique analysis. Um, First thing I'm going to say here is that I'm going to do a giveaway where I'm going to give two of these video technique analysis away for free. So all you got to do is to just comment below in this video why you would want a technique analysis. What do you think I can help with? Why do you think you want to improve your technique? I have a million reasons, but I want to hear yours. And I'm going to give two of those. And for the rest of you that are not the lucky winners, if you go on to thorpskating.com, you can buy an NFT for $50 or euros. And then simply just upload your video in the folder that I will give here below. And then I will make a video analysis of that. And this video is me analyzing myself to give you guys an idea of what that looks like. And also just to show you that there's always things to work on. I've been skating for 23 years. I'm 28 years old, turning 29. And there's still a long list of things I want to improve, even though as a newcomer to skating, it can look very nice. There is just details all the time. They get smaller and smaller. You go faster and faster, but it's still a maze to figure out how to get faster at skating. So let me just show you a clip that I recorded this summer of myself, and I will try and give some technique analysis to myself here for you guys to see how that works if you go on thorpskating.com and order one or book one. And then you just upload your video. When you purchase the NFT, you will get the link to the Google Drive folder where you can upload that video, and then I will make a video just like this. You decide whether you want it private or if you want it to be here on my YouTube channel for a lot of people to watch. I think that's pretty cool. We have quite a little base in here with 75,000 subscribers, and the Thorp Skating is also growing. So I hope that you'll make use of that opportunity and comment below to be amongst the lucky ones that could get a free video technique analysis. But for now, let me just show you my skating and tell you what's wrong with it, the way I would do it with you. Okay, so one thing I specifically want to try and do here in these video analysis sessions is to give you not just some examples of what you would need to change, but also some specific exercises to get to those changes in the fastest and easiest way possible. So dryland exercises or different technique drills. This video is, like, I would assume pretty professional because I had a cameraman, I was skating behind a car, but honestly, you can do whatever content you would want. I would just say 30 seconds, even less, 20 seconds is enough for me to get an idea of your skating. So really don't worry too much about that. Quality also really doesn't matter. It is pretty easy. I am coaching more than 10 skaters individually, and I've done hundreds of these sessions where I analyze technique and help people out. So I don't need so much to pinpoint the mistakes that you would be doing and that you could be fixing. All right, so now I'll put it in slow motion so we can look a little closer at what I should be doing differently. The first thing that comes to my mind here is that I lift my feet too far off the ground. It is hard to see from the front here, but the reason I do this is because I feel like I generate more leverage. But it also takes off pressure off the ground, and as you can see, my shoulders are actually bouncing a little too much here. So you can see here how between each stroke I go up and down, and I lift that leg too far off the ground. So a great way to solve this is by doing circles or even slide board training, where you really practice having that recovery leg, the leg that goes behind, closer to the ground so it doesn't do this bouncing. Another thing that happens when I do this, as you can see here, if I pause the video, I actually twist it a little. You look at that skate in the back here, you can tell that that leg, my hip is opening. Let me just try and draw a line for you. Okay, so I made two lines here. You can see one of them, that is my lean, pretty perfect. You look at the shoulder, the knee, and the toes, you would want those three to be aligned. But if you look at that other line, that is where my recovery leg or that hanging skate in the back is pointing. As you can see here, my hip is opening up. So my hip actually points to my left. If you look at where this would be. As you can see here, the two red lines that I now drew is that my hip is actually pointing to that side, which when you do that, open up the hip like that, I won't be able to push straight to the side because my hip are pointing that way. So my stroke will never be straight to the side, and I have to twist things in order to do so, which here will be my upper body bouncing up, or it'll mean that I lose pressure on the leg I'm standing on. So this is just a really good example on how one thing can derive from something completely different. So the reason I kick far up and the reason I twist that leg behind is not because I do that. It is because my hips are opening up, and then the leg, obviously, just when it's relaxed. One thing I do well is to relax that recovery leg, but if I relax it and my hips are not straight, well, it's just going to be relaxed in the same angle. So twisty hips is going to make you lose that pressure. As long as you can sit down with a hip pushed to the side, which I'm not doing here, you can generate that pressure naturally just using your body weight to the side. So a good way that I would use for myself here to practice this is doing more of the kill zone stuff, doing the circle drills. Obviously I'm going to put a link below to the YouTube videos where I demonstrate these, and also some of the skate walks where you practice switching from leg to leg with having stable hips that don't pop up or pop to the side or tilt to the side. Because of course, if you want to push one way, you got to push against yourself. But if your hip tilts, well, it's not really going to work. So that's one thing that I would need to practice. The next thing we're going to look at here is how I put my skate down into the ground. Ideally, you want to do that right under your center of gravity because that's where you can push the most. Of course, like a stick is the strongest when it's straight. So if you put that leg not perfectly underneath yourself, it's not going to be beneficial. And also you want it to be in the right angle so it's aligned with your shin and your leg so that you can just apply pressure. I do this a little better on one leg compared to the other. A nice way to do this is, again, basic dryland exercises. Imitation exercises is really nice because you practice that tilt to the side where you need to leap with the hip and just place the leg right under your center of gravity. So that's another thing that I could use personally. Let's just have a look at that. Okay, so let's try and take a closer look at what I just explained. If I freeze this image, you can see that I put this leg down almost outside. This is where it should be, and this is where I put it. You realize how difficult it is for me to push that direction when it's all the way on the other side of my shoulder. I have to grind through, and there's no way I can actually create speed and try to go forward this way. So instead I should just relax it and focus on putting it down, again having a perfect straight line under my center of gravity. Another thing that we notice here, if I play it in slow motion, is the angle that I have in my boot as it touches the ground. So you can see, even the times where I do put it down in the right place, I am generally a little better here, put it down under the center of gravity. But whereas I have a nice lean with my body, when the skate touches the ground, you can see that I'm almost on the inside of it. Whereas you would want to have the wheels perfectly aligned with the shins, because otherwise they're going to have a weak spot in your angle, and no matter how hard you push, it's not going to transfer into the wheels, into the ground. So you want to have that same angle. So for me, could even be a thing that I should consider putting my blades or frames a little more towards the inside so that I'm not tilting towards the inside when I put it down. You can see I think I've developed the strength to kind of fix it with muscles. So when I put it down, might not be perfectly on point, but then I adjust. But it means that it will be a little delayed before I can actually push with it. Just here's the last clip. I want to show you myself from the side where you can really see what I talked about lifting up the legs. The bouncing isn't too bad here, but I could generate more speed if I kept it. So I'll just be ending this video with giving myself 3 nice things to think about when I'm skating, technically speaking, and 3 different exercises that I should try out at home that I think can help me. Obviously I'm already working on this, but just to give you an example what I would be doing if this was a video I was making for one of you guys. So 3 things: keep the recovery leg closer to the ground. Make sure to put that leg down just underneath my center of gravity, and make sure to have the wheels and the skate, the boot, aligned with my shins and my leg and my whole body as I skate to be able to generate power right away. And good ways to fix this. Slideboard is a nice way to practice the recovery movement, keeping that close to the ground. You just slow down the movement. You can do it at any pace, and you can do it over and over in front of a mirror. Also, doing the circles exercise, the extension. I'll put links to all of this below. And then to make sure the hip is in the right position so it don't tilt from side to side with the recovery leg and open up the hip. All the skate walk exercises are nice because you do that weight transfer movement while pointing straight forward and having everything in position. So that one's really nice as well to work on. And if we look at how to place down the skate and having that straight, a lot of it is angle strength and things like slalom, small slaloms or wider slaloms. You can slalom on two legs where you just feel the pressure on it. It's a nice way to really be conscious of where that skate lands and how you have it aligned. So this would be my advice for myself. Super excited to work with you guys. Hope you want to hop on to Throw Up Skating, whether you just want to see all the free content or become a premium user to really get serious about your skating and get the most out of it. I appreciate either way. And remember, it's a giveaway, so leave a comment why you would need a little bit of technical help and what your goals are below, and I'll make this for you. See you around.